Hello. So welcome. Thank you for the introduction, Rachel. And let's get started. So my name is Romiya, and I want to geek out about speaking out. I come to you from a place of someone who's been taught and told for so long not to rock the boat, but I'm learning to get comfortable with my voice because some things need to be shouted at the top of your lungs. So let me tell you a little bit more about me. My name is a mashup created by my parents to reflect my mom's interest in mythology and to honor my dad. I identify as an African-American cisgender woman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a mother, and I'm in a heteronormative marriage. I'm classified as a zennial, but I've also been called an elder millennial. I was born and raised in the South, did some more development in the North. My grandparents had less than a high school education, but my parents earned their high school diploma. So I have experience as a first-generation college student. I have an educational background in science and technology, and my career is in managing research operations. These are the categories you can put me into when I walk into a room. These descriptors also color the lenses that I use to view my work, my research, and the world around me. And though sometimes it's something I struggle with, recognizing who you are and the skin you live in is important to understanding your bias. And it's also important for recognizing what drives your passions. When I enter a room, I'm not always the first person to have something to say, unless you get me talking on a topic I care about, and you will see that I can be a pretty passionate person. I've taken plenty of personality tests over the years, and what's common among my results is empathy and a value of justice and fairness, the ability to thrive in environments where I work with a team to overcome obstacles, and the need to take varying perspectives and create new insights. Now, all of this looks pretty positive on paper, but my personal culture often leads me down rabbit holes and shouting into the void. My family and friends often are pretty amused by how easily I can get riled up by the littlest things. My sister once said to me, "Be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself climbing down from that soapbox." But being the passionate person I am, I don't have just one soapbox. Over time, I started to see the patterns and relationships between the concepts I was most passionate about. I climb on my soapboxes when I see there's better information or data to use in decision making, when there's evidence that points to a more appropriate way to do something, when a group or a community gets left behind because of laziness, unawareness, or apathy. And I realized it is a lot of work carrying around all these soapboxes and climbing up and down to shout at the individual groups. But if I push all those boxes together, I can create a platform. So I want you to take a moment to think about your soapboxes. Like what really gets you riled up and climbing up on that soapbox? Do you see any threads? Is there any way you can build yourself a platform out of all your soapboxes? What I saw that was common in my soapboxes was the unfair and inequitable impact to persons and communities that results from missing, poor, inaccessible, or misused data. See, information is all around us. And when you do something with it, good or bad, you turn it into data. There are a lot of people who are good at using data, but not as many people love digging through the weeds and going down the rabbit holes. I found that few people in my field focus on finding the studies that support and refute their stories, and even fewer of them share that information. So I built my platform on Research for Researchers, a website, a hashtag, and a growing brand. And this brings us to our reference to Archimedes. Give me a place to stand, and with a lever, I will move the whole world. Now, I am not the first to use this quote. Mark Twain once said, "Suppose he had moved the earth. What then? What benefit would it have been to anybody? The job would never have paid working expenses, let alone dividends. And so what was the use of talking about it?" Indeed, what is the benefit? And why even bother with putting all those soapboxes together? Well, one thing I've learned is the audience typically goes to the stage and not the other way around. So back to Mark Twain's point, what is the use about talking about all of my passions, and why even bother? And even more so, I just wanted to know for myself, why me? Why would I choose to do this? For undergrad, I attended a small engineering school where less than 5% of the students at the time identified as Black or African American, and less than 15% of the students classified as female. Suffice to say, I was one of few students who looked like me walking around campus. And it was not uncommon for me to meet someone in a social situation and for them to say, "Oh yeah, I know you." But I knew they just meant I know of you, because it's a lot easier to pick me out in the crowd. But one day I was thrown for a loop when someone stopped me and said, "Hey, I know you." And I, of course, thought, of course you do. But then he says, "No, I play second string on the football team. You're the cheerleader who's always standing behind us and really yelling to get up and get back in the game." So I don't know why this story stuck with me all these years, but thinking about it kind of made a light bulb go off. So Eureka is what Archimedes exclaimed when he made a discovery. And then he ran naked through the streets. I found it. I thought when I finally made those connections, I did not run naked through the streets though. What I learned from that conversation was that I had an atypical cheerleading style, but I did it with heart. And because I really did want them to rally, like I wanted them to achieve and do better and go hard and really, really meet their goals. And that's what I'm trying to do with my platform, except this time my messages are informed by my soapboxes and colored by the lenses of my identity. So remember how I was saying Mark Twain kind of took that Archimedes quote and questioned it? Well, in that rant, he continues to say, "From what astronomers tell us, I should reckon that the Earth moved quite fast enough already. And if there happen to be a few cranks who were dissatisfied with the rate of progress, as far as I'm concerned, they might push it along for themselves. I would not move a finger or subscribe a penny piece to assist in anything of the kind." Well, I guess I'm one of those cranks, because I don't believe the world is moving fast enough in the direction that I feel it should go. But I hope with my platform, I can move the world. And if you're one of those cranks like me who thinks the world's not moving fast enough in the right direction, then do me a favor. The next time someone steps into a room, don't spend your energy trying to put them into a box. Instead, give them a hand and help them build a platform. So please allow me to introduce myself one more time. My name is Romiya, and I'm sharing my passion for purposeful research through my platform, Research for Researchers, where I explore change, implement excellence, and translate evidence of best practices for sustainable solutions to moving health forward and closing the gaps. I look forward to helping you push together your own soapboxes and building a platform for your passions. Thank you for listening.